Let's talk about your time behind bars, hopefully to deter some kids out there from making some of the same decisions that got you a big chunk of your life taken away from you. But let's talk about the first time you got locked up. How old were you when you first got locked up, and where did you go? Your very first time? Was it juvie? Was it camp?
The first time I got locked up, I was 12 years old. Went to juvenile hall.
Which one?
Los Angeles.
Yeah, in Downey. What was your experience like in at Los Padrinos?
Well, that first time, I went home for my first court date, so I didn't really have no experience that first time. The first memory is just having to use the bathroom around other people. That wasn't a good feeling, and I remember I didn't want to use the bathroom. And the first time I had to use the bathroom, my stomach was so cramped up because I had to. I was probably gonna use the bathroom on myself, so I had to. But I just didn't like the feeling of having to use the bathroom around other people, like no privacy type situation. So that was the most thing I remember about that situation.
Were you active at this time? Had you already joined Swans?
Nah, the cool part about it, the case that I caught was for somebody fighting a person, a quote unquote enemy that was associating me with the Swans. Like basically, I had a fight with a young crip dude from Main Street, and he was basically telling people that I was from Swans because this is who I was walking home with, who I was walking home with and walking to school with. So he basically approached me and wanted to fight. And from a young age, I never was shy about fighting or nothing like that. So that wasn't nothing. But I was low key trying to plead my case, like, bro, I'm not even no gangbanger, bro. Like you basically lying on me, bro. But I learned that from a young age. You can't turn down no fights. That's just growing up in any ghetto. So the fight was on.
Yeah. All right. So Los Padrinos. What was your next trip to behind bars? What was your next time?
I think I was 14.
Okay. Where'd you go then?
Yeah, 14. To Los Padrinos.
Okay. Yeah. So 14. How did that experience differ from your first time?
It was different then because I was already gangbanging. So it's like now, like the fighting, coming to jail fighting and stuff like that. And it's a whole different experience. And like basically being like I said, the first time I wasn't even here. My first court date, I got released. But once you gangbanging, the whole mindset is gonna be different anyway because if you active, you're gonna be looking for it. So I was looking for fighting. I heard these stories. Like all my homies, we used to look up. Like, even the ones that was our age had already been in jail, they come back with their war stories about fighting. So then, you know people from the streets, so you see people in here, so you want to do the same thing they was doing. Oh, you hear stories like, I ran out the classroom and attacking the line movement, or I ran in his classroom. And so I wanted to do the same stuff. So that was like what I was in there on at that time.
Did you ever do any time at Fred Nellis?
No, when I went to YA, Nellis was closed already. It was either closed already or it was closed. It got closed down when I was in reception.
Okay. What YA did you end up going to?
Paso Robles and TS.
Break that down. So it starts in Norwalk, right? Is that where you?
Yeah, you go to Norwalk first. That's reception, and then you go to like a little committee, and then they transfer you out. You can send you to whatever YA they're gonna send you to. Like you said, Nellis, Paso, Preston, and they had always closed. Those were the ones if you was under 18, they'll send you to. But if you was over 18, then they'll send you to Chad, TS, DeWitt, or one of the YAs where you was 18 plus. So I was 17 when I left SR, and so they sent me to Paso. And once I turned 18, they sent me to TS.
Okay. I've heard the term several times, gladiator school, in relation to YA. What was your experience like in YA?
Oh yeah, it was definitely gladiator school. It was definitely it's just an intense environment, bro. That's probably the most intense environment that I ever been in my life. Like even in regards to prison, adult prison, and all that, because
wow,
it's yeah, it's an intense environment, bro. Especially if you gang banging. And then in my situation, a lot of people knew me, and then I was real disrespectful at this time. So then I had eye buster on my face. I still got an eye buster on my face. So that you got a lot of active Crips in YA. So they was trying to see what that was hitting for. So I ain't really had too much programming time. It was all activities.
Now eye busters and face tats, it's kind of the norm. But you're telling me back in the '90s, you had one on your face, so you were doing this.
No, I wasn't. I ain't that old.
Oh,
I ain't that old. I was there. No, I was in YA 2004.
Okay,
like 2004, 5, 6.
Okay, even then that's kind of before this whole fad of face tats and.
Yeah, I was the only person, like, especially from a black gang. I probably was the only person that had.
If you were Latino or Mexican,
yeah. Face, like at that time, I was like the only. But even then, it still wasn't common for a juvenile. Like it was more Hispanics, like it was more prevalent with them, but you didn't really see no juveniles with tattoos on their face, bro. That just wasn't something that you seen a lot back then.
Yeah. All right, so YA, and let's fast forward a little bit. You ended up doing a 15-year stretch. Now let's talk about that, man. What led up to you doing 15 years in prison?
I went to jail for armed robbery.
Okay.
So they gave me 5 years for the case. That's how much the laws didn't change, though. Now they know that shit out of pocket.
That's
I got 5 years for the actual robbery, and then 10 years for the gun enhancement. They changed a lot of shit as they should. So they had me 15 years for armed robbery.
Was this going back to the 3 strikes laws and all that, was this considered a strike? And explain that part.
2 strikes.
So 2 strikes you had at that time.
2 strikes, yeah. 2 strikes were, they have reduced it now. Like if I was to go back to jail, which I don't got no plans on doing, they would only consider that I had 1 strike because it was 1 case. But basically, if you had a case, like let's say if you had a string of robberies and you had multiple robberies, they would give you multiple strikes for every one. You would have multiple strikes. So they gave me 2 strikes on that 1 case. So now it's not like that no more. Like you got 1 case, that's 1 strike. So they gave me 2 strikes, and then gun enhancement was 10 years. So it didn't matter what, you could have a 2-year term, and if you use the gun, they give you 10 years on top of that crime. So you got people doing 12 years, 2 years for whatever their crime is, and then 10 years for the gun enhancement. So that's just how that shit was back then.
At that point, what was the longest stretch you had done?
38 months. When I had went to my little stint was 38 months. So when I got out of jail and came back, that's when I ended up getting the 15 years. But 15, I don't compare to no a little 38 months. That shit was,
I was going to say.
15 years, that's a whole different little thing.
What was mentally going through your mind when you heard the judge? Because they do it in months, don't they? When they say your jail sentence.
No, in federal. That's federal. They do it in months. When they say 15 years, like I was expecting it because my attorney basically said, "Oh, this is the sentence that she gonna more than likely end up getting." But it was more like it really wasn't like something that it didn't feel real because it was like you came when you young, like. Nobody really think, well, I know where I was from that you gonna get to be 30 years old. So it's like, man, I'm gonna be how old when I get? I'm gonna be 34. Like that shit just don't sound. It don't sound like something that you can wrap your head around. So my whole thing was, I just wanted to live day by day, bro. Like I'm worried about right now, today. I can't really worry about 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 2 years. Like that's a long time to be thinking about the future. So I was just trying to get through the day by day.